Brea Gunn is a messaging and funnel specialist. And if those words don't mean anything to you, we're going to address them in a few minutes. And she works with business owners and entrepreneurs to create messaging and processes, and that's what I'm interested in, that inspire loyalty, momentum, and action, and leverage trust, authenticity, and profitability. And I know that that's a word that anyone that's in business is very interested in learning about. And you've been doing this now for 20 years. You've been in marketing and customer service. So my first question to you, Brea, is going to be, how did you get started in your own business? What was going on in your life that prompted you to go into business?
Oh gosh, that's such a great question. So I started out in law, actually. And yeah, I went and got my pre-law degree and graduated and was working for a law firm and found out I was pregnant and couldn't figure out how to balance the stress of the law firm and being a new mom. And I knew something had to change, but I didn't know anyone who worked from home. But that was like, I really wanted to work from home, right? You feel like if I just wish it hard enough, it'll happen. And my mom came across an article in a magazine for Hire My Mom. And I was like, oh, this has to be a scam. Like, there's no way. Like, all those ads in magazines, like, they don't actually exist. It's just somebody trying to get my email address or whatever. But it was a real site, and it's still around today. And it's a really great resource for those of you who are looking to break into the online space. If you're not really sure kind of what you want to do yet and you have some admin skills, it's a really great place to start. And I started applying, and I booked a gig that was with a wedding company, and they just wanted me to check their email. Well, pretty soon they found out that I had a blog and I could write. And they're like, would you write for us? And I said, yes. And then they're like, would you load emails into our email system for us? And I'm like, sure. In my head, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, I have no idea what I'm doing, but I don't want to say no because I want to learn and grow. And they knew coming in that I had no experience in the online space. So they were gracious enough to allow me to learn. And I just kept saying yes whenever they offered an opportunity. And here I am years later, and I've honed my skills, and I still write copy, but I also do marketing strategy now. And I think it was just being able to say, yes, I want to try. Yes, I'm willing to do that. Yes, I'm willing. And then as you do that, you figure out, oh, I never want to do that again. I really dislike this thing. And you can start to hone, create a culture in your own business of, this is what I'm really excellent and good at, and this is what I really need help with. And it kind of goes from there. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. And it's interesting because I just did a blog saying that that's exactly a process that we have to go through. So did you hire people to do the things you didn't like, or did you simply say, that's not what I do, and you chose customers based on what you like to do?
I tried the agency model thing. And discovered that it is not my jam at all. I didn't want to be responsible for that many people.
Okay.
And I didn't like that I didn't have a fast turnaround time. I love when I tell a client it'll be ready by this time next week, and they go, are you serious? I love that. And I didn't want to lose that. So I very quickly realized the agency model was not something that worked for me. So I started selecting clients based on what I like to do. Do I still do some of the things that I'm not in love with? Yeah, of course. I think we all do. But it was really important to me that I create something that I really got passionate about and excited about and wanted to come to work every morning. And so I think, the agency model is right for some people. It just wasn't right for me.
That's well, I'm going to summarize what you just said. You said, first of all, you started with no experience in the world that you ended up in. I mean, you had some life experiences that must have come to bear, but you didn't have real experiences. But you were willing to get in there and say, I love the thing you said. I said yes. They asked and I said yes. They asked and I said yes. So you actually, on some levels, discovered your business.
Yeah.
Almost like a sculptor cutting away things, going, I don't like that, I don't like that. And
that's
then
a great way to look at
it. Well, then it makes you're right. It makes you happy. I mean, your picture on your LinkedIn profile is just adorable because it looked like somebody was having fun doing what they're doing.
We had an absolute blast at the last photo shoot that we did. It was so much fun.
So that was how you got in. How did it work out as far as a business being in your home and obviously raising a child?
Oh God, it went like chaos. Everyone's like, oh my gosh, I don't know how you manage. I'm like, I don't. I ignore my children. Looking back, I did a lot better than I thought I was doing at the time.
Mm-hmm.
You know, we're always really hard on ourselves. And I felt so guilty that I was ignoring my kid to work, that I started working only when he napped and only when he was asleep. But then I was ignoring my husband because he'd get home at night and want to talk to me and hang out with me. But I was like, but the baby's in bed, which means I have to get my work done. Mm. And we very quickly realized that I had to figure out a better balance.
Yeah.
Because I was ignoring one or the other. And so, you know, over the last probably decade, I've really gotten good at saying no and setting boundaries and office hours and things. But I still, you know, my kids still come and interrupt calls. They're 11 and 8 now, and they still meet all my clients. You know, they're in school, but when they come home, they're going to come down to my office and tell me they're home, and that's okay. And I think, you know, if you're a parent and you're struggling with working from home with your kids, especially if they're small, give yourself grace. Take on clients that like the fact that you're a parent. You know, I'm very upfront with everybody. Listen, I have kids. It's part of my life. I'm also a complete Disney nerd. If those things bother you, then this is not a good fit.
Well, you know, and that is one of the beauties of working for yourself, because you are in control of who you work for. And as a result of that, you can design your business around your life, as opposed to having your life trying to fit into your, I mean, I can't imagine how you could have worked in a law firm. So tell me what you like best about being an entrepreneur and being in your own business. And then I'll ask you what you like least about it.
Gosh, that's a hard question. I like the time freedom. The thing I like the least is I don't really ever get to meet my clients in person.
Because you're working from home.
Because I work from home and I work globally. I have clients all over the world. And so the chances of me getting to meet one of my favorite clients who lives in London are very, very slim. You know, I've had hundreds of clients over the years, and I've only met maybe a handful of them. So that's the thing I wish I could change is, you know, it would be nice to have some kind of a co-working space where we could all like hang out.
Which businesses can evolve into that. So where do you see yourself, and speaking of which, see yourself evolving? Are you going to continue to be basically a solopreneur?
I think that's where I'm happy now. You know, it took me a long time to figure out me and who I am. And I think I finally landed on something that I can live with. And for now, being a solopreneur with I do have a small team. I have a junior copywriter. I have a social media manager. I have an assistant. I have a graphic designer. I don't offer those services outside my own business, generally speaking, but for my clients who need, you know, a PDF written and designed, it's really nice to have that in-house so that I can do that for them. So as far as soloing it, I'm kind of making it my own.
So let's talk about your business and what you do for people. And that we started by saying you're a messaging and funnel specialist. So let's talk about what that really means in language that most people would understand. So what kind of issues are people coming to you with? What are their problems, and what's your solution for those problems?
So I am a copywriter and marketing strategist. So most entrepreneurs who come to me or need my services have a business that they love and adore, and they have programs and products, but they're just not selling as efficiently or as readily as they would like them to. And they need someone to jazz up their sales page or write their sales emails, or they want to have a newsletter that's cohesive and well thought out, but they don't have the time to write it or research it. those are the issues I take off people's plates. And on the marketing side, launching a product is no joke. And I've hospitalized myself twice launching, and it's not something that I would wish on anybody. And so I am a big fan of what I call lazy launching simply and effortlessly. And that sounds like a big promise, but it's really about planning well enough in advance that by the time you open cart, things are rolling in the right direction and you don't really have to scramble like you see so many people talking about.
So what do people misunderstand or not understand about copywriting, what it is? Because it sounds, to some people, it's just, well, you just write. And
you do just write. And there are copywriters out there that have all kinds of expertise. My expertise happens to be sales and marketing, and that's what I write about. And that doesn't mean I write about sales and marketing. I generate the sales and the marketing material.
So tell me who are good, how would somebody who's a prospective customer of yours, how would they know that they need you?
If the thought of writing your copy literally makes you physically ill, okay. That's a really good indicator you need a copywriter. I've actually had people be like, I get nauseous thinking about having to write this. If you find that the content for your business, whether it's your social media posts, your newsletter, your sales, is pushed off to the last minute consistently, meaning no matter what's going on, if the sales tomorrow, you still haven't wrote the first email, you'll write it in the morning because you work, and I say this with air quotes, y'all, you work better under pressure, you probably need a copywriter. If you have a program or product that you're tired of launching live because you feel like that's the only way you can make sales, you probably need a marketing strategist and somebody who can help you determine a different way to sell your programs and products.
Okay. So it's really people who are looking for, and obviously have the aversion to writing is what you're saying, but also are looking for ways to be more profitable in their businesses, that whatever they're doing isn't their marketing isn't working for them.
Right.
And do you offer a consultation, anything of that nature?
Of course. Yeah. I offer a free discovery call for anyone who wants to talk to me about copy or copywriting. And the other thing I love doing is I use those discovery calls to talk to future copywriters too. There's a lot of people who are thinking about being in the space and aren't sure, and they just want to pick my brain. And that's always a really fun conversation because we get to dive into what they're passionate about and what they're excited about. And that makes me excited again. So yeah, I do offer a freebie.
Well, I always ask the people I'm interviewing if they have something that they would like to give to folks who waited until the end of this conversation. And you said you had something. What is that?
I do. I have a 5-day challenge that will help you find more clients faster, because that's one of the things I struggled with when I was starting out. So I put together a challenge that takes you through how to source clients, how to talk to them, how to do a little bit of market research so that you know the right things to say, and then how to actually go out there and get people on the phone so you can start closing. It's an email challenge. You don't have to be participatory in a group or anything. That's one of the things that I am awful at is I'm like, yeah, I'll do the challenge. I'm like, oh, it's in a group and it's live and there's no way I have time for this. So I put it in an email format so you can go back to it whenever you need inspiration. And they can grab that at breannagunn.com/5-day challenge.
Fabulous. And I'll put that down below so that we have it both on in the notes below. And really encourage people to talk with you because it's fun.
I have a blast. I'd love to talk to anyone who's thinking about starting out online or is online and needs to pivot and just needs to talk to someone who's done it. I'm here.
Well, thank you very much. I really appreciate you taking the time to talk with us. And I'm looking forward because I find the emails that you send out very inspiring.
Oh, thank you.
But also very useful. I've gotten some really great ideas from them. So.
Oh, good. I love hearing that.
It's worth being in a relationship with Brea Gunn. So I encourage people to sign up for her newsletters or whatever they're called, emails, marketing, whatever. Yeah.
I call it a newsletter. There's probably a better name for it, but I've always called it a newsletter. So.
Okay. Wonderful. Thanks a lot, Brea. Take care.
You're so welcome, Lorna. Thank you.